Life often throws curveballs, both personally and professionally, Carson. Can you share a time when you completely felt knocked down? How did you find the strength to get back up and keep moving forward?
Yeah. The biggest one that jumps out of my mind was after AT&T back in 2010. I lost a job at what I thought was going to be my peak. I used to get up in front of hundreds of salespeople every day and get standing ovations, and it was very Wolf of Wall Street like. And I thought I had made it. I thought I was doing all these right things. I was in kind of this boiler room call center, right? What was interesting to me was what I realized afterwards was that I was completely alone. These people that had worshipped me because they wanted me to promote them, they were nowhere. They were nowhere to be found. They wouldn't even take my phone call. And so I was very, very alone. I didn't have anyone in my life. There was a scant few people that I could still lean on to a degree, and obviously my parents. But I was very alone during that time, and it was humbling, it was humiliating, and it was hard. And it was like going through that crucible made me realize that there was only one way that I was going to get back to that feeling of mattering, that feeling of making a difference, and it was going to be me making it happen. And I've always been very intentional about my goals and my bucket lists. And I wanted to write a book. I used the time wisely and did it. And ultimately, as I mentioned, that's what got me into my next role. So those types of things made a difference. And once I got back into the workforce, for me, it was all about getting back to where I felt like I could surpass where I was. And that took several years. It took several years for me to feel like I was surpassing where I had been. So that memory, that pain was very prevalent in my mind for, I would say, probably 6 years. And then finally I surpassed it, far surpassed it. That was 15 years ago now. So I can definitely understand how sometimes pain, personal pain, professional pain can be very prevalent in your life. But also it's not forever. It is temporary. And if you can learn from it, these things can matter a great deal.
Yeah, interesting. So there's a saying or a thought process that when you have uh, you are immersed in negativity, or in times of trouble, look at the positive bank balance. And did you have any sort of experience like that where you pulled out some uh, shoelace tying moment, and then from there you build up your success moments, and then keep recreating it, and then made it a success in the present moment?
Yeah, I think there's a big element of that. There was, frankly, when things aren't going well for me personally, I have a tendency of throwing myself into what I can control. I can control the effort that I bring to my role. I can control the passion, the energy, the enthusiasm. And don't get me wrong, I mean, there were still days where I was not feeling it, but you just put one foot in front of the next. You land the step in front of you, and if you do that enough times, it'll catch on. You'll get the momentum. It's kind of like when I get up in the morning and I don't feel like running. I just start walking and start a trot, and then I'm into it. Right? It's just you have to go through the motions sometimes and get there. And fortunately, I've always been able to find my rhythm.
Interesting, very interesting.